It's Thursday, November 19th, and this is the afternoon shift. I'm Adam-llorens.
And I'm Max Fuller, a.k.a. John Max Klein.
Yes.
You've seen Die Hard?
Oh, I was thinking of the former presidential candidate.
John McCain.
Yes,
Yeah, that works too.
Yes,
that works too.
Yes.
That's McCain. I'm John Max Klein.
Oh, okay, got it.
From the Die Hard movie series.
Yes.
Because, it's almost Christmas time. Everybody's favorite annual debate is Die Hard, a Christmas movie.
Oh, okay.
We'll resume soon. It's a very heated debate. I don't know if you ever heard people get into this.
No, I haven't.
People get really heated about what quantifies a Christmas movie or not, and people have very strong opinions about whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Interesting. Yeah. Paul thinks
it is.
Yes.
You have strong opinions about this, Paul-millgate.
Yes.
Well, I'm the one in the chair today.
Ooh.
Grace, do you have a strong opinion about this?
I think it's a Christmas movie, and so does my entire family. So.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
we
What
talked about this.
does it just have to be on Christmas? Like, what is the?
I think
what
if
is the
there's Christmas
qualification?
music that plays in it, if there's Christmas decorations that are shown in it, and a happy ending, and a happy ending is what Paul added. So, yeah, I would say so. I do think I would probably watch it outside of the holiday season, but I've only watched it during the holiday season. I don't know about you guys.
Interesting. It's my mom's favorite movie, one of her favorite movies. I've never seen it.
Oh.
I've never seen it.
Okay.
So maybe this year's the year.
Yeah, maybe this year is the year. I haven't seen it either, so.
I've never
Well,
seen
then
it
why
either.
are we talking about it?
What do you mean?
I didn't bring it up. Yes.
I can't do my AKAs? All right. AKA nothing.
AKA nothing.
AKA nothing else.
No, I want
Forget
to
it.
hear him. I want to hear him.
Forget it. No, I could have been Frowana. That's okay. I never seen that either. Can I not use it if I've never seen it? I've never seen Albert Einstein in real life. Can I be the black Albert Einstein?
Paul just got up and left. I saw.
I didn't see. My daughter was afraid of the lava monster when she was a young lass.
In Moana?
Yeah.
Oh.
So we never watched it together. And then it was just one of those things where it's like, hey, are you still scared of the lava monster? Let's watch it. And she's like, I've already seen it now. And it was like,
Well, the live action one's coming out. The trailer for it
Yeah.
just dropped, and people are not happy about that at all.
it doesn't look good.
It doesn't. And it's like, didn't this movie come out less than 10 years ago? I
was
don't think it needs a
2016.
remake at this point.
Why are we
but-
remaking it? Yeah, I don't really get it. I'm out on the live action Disney movies.
Whatever happened to It's a Wonderful Life being a Christmas? So is Jimmy Stewart not good enough for people?
That still is a Christmas
Yeah,
movie,
Jimmy
but
Stewart.
Die Hard is a classic as well.
All right, yeah.
It's a classic. You've never even seen it.
I haven't, but
I haven't either.
it sounds Die Hard doesn't sound very
It's an
Christmassy.
action movie.
Yeah.
It's like an action movie. Slide
Yeah.
around, explosions,
Yeah. It's a Wonderful Life is just a beautiful message.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Yeah.
You never heard that? No, wow.
No. Well, there's
Well,
a
I'm sure
Johnny.
we'll have a debate about it.
There's a Johnny Cash song called "Ghost Riders in the Sky," and they do a little yippee-yi-yo, yippee-ki-yay.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's where Die Hard got it
That's
from.
that's a sweet name for a song.
Yeah, I love Johnny Cash.
Shout
I
out to
really
Johnny
do.
Cash.
Shout out to Johnny Cash.
And shout out to
absolutely.
the afternoon shift.
And shout out to the Afternoon Shift, and shout out to the Afternoon Shift's Instagram account,
Oh.
which I said we were trying to get to 300 by the end of the week.
_. Oh, that's not even my phone. What are we at right now?
I don't know if we're at
right
300. There it is on the bottom of the screen. At Afternoon Shift
Afternoon shift.
_ Fox9. We're at
Oh,
249.
249. One away.
We're looking for
growing.
250.
We're steadily growing.
We'll see who could be number 250.
We got all types of good content. We got Lanny from yesterday, former advisor to President Clinton, talking about the new Native Theater. That was a great interview. Did you ever miss an episode of anything that's going on in the afternoon shift, or maybe you just want a little preview? We got all of that and more. Afternoon shift _ Fox9.
Did you know that Monday was our 150th episode?
It was it?
And we didn't.
Wow,
I think
we didn't even do anything.
It came and passed. We forgot about it.
Wow, I don't even think we did anything on the 100th episode.
Yes, we did. We
we?
Oh man, I think we did something.
I don't think we did.
I think we did. So I can't remember. Paul, you don't.
I don't think
Grace,
we
do you-
did.
Oh, okay, all right.
I think we planned to, but then we never did.
We never did.
We got to celebrate.
200's our number.
200's our number.
Or maybe let's
200.
just pick a random number, and that'll be the celebratory show.
There we
Yes.
go. There
Yeah.
we go. A lot of shows never made it this far.
Maybe we can coincide episode 250 with July 4th, America's 250th birthday. Maybe we can have a little. collab? No?
I think I'm busy that day. Yeah, I think I got plans that day.
You busy on July 4th?
Yeah, I think I got plans that day.
Okay, all right. Well, we have a lot of plans today to deliver a fantastic show.
Yeah.
We're going to bring on Jesse Pierce in our first segment. The Minnesota Wild, they're red hot.
Yeah.
They're hosting the Carolina Hurricanes, one of the best teams in the NHL tonight. So we're really excited about that game. The tickets are very cheap if you're interested in going. It's a late puck drop.
Real late.
8:30 puck drop.
And the NHL is kind of bad about when it's a late puck drop. 8:30 really kind of means closer to 9. We'll ask Jesse about that, but I'm sure someone has to cover the Minnesota Wild and then file a post-game report afterwards. It's going to be a late night.
It's going to be a late night. We're going to talk turkey with the Minnesota Turkey Growers Association. We're 8 days to Thanksgiving, so you like to bake or fry your turkey? I mean, I like a fried turkey.
Yeah, I love all turkey.
Yeah.
I don't discriminate. I'll eat any kind of turkey.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to get into all different types of turkey. Mike Mazoni, our Fox 9 colleague, you've probably seen his work on the Fox 9 Evening News. He'll be joining us. That's going to be great.
Super excited.
Talking about child daycare abuse investigations across Minnesota.
Not excited to talk about that subject, but excited to talk to Mike.
Yes, absolutely. And that's all in the 3 o'clock hour and the 4 o'clock hour. The Nutcracker.
I've got some breaking news. I'm so sorry, but we did just get our 250th follower.
Look at that.
Jesse Chain. So thank you, Jesse, for tuning into the afternoon shift.
Hey.
Paul said that we got a DM. So we are up to 250. Let's see if we can get to 300.
Wow, 251 now even.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Jesse,
We're just
tell all
chugging
your
along.
friends to follow us, please.
We're just chugging along.
We're popping off.
And we only have 185 font. We got that ratio up a little bit.
We got the ratio up.
A little bit. Perfect. I like that.
Perfect. That's our 3 o'clock hour. I'll save what's coming in our 4 o'clock hour. It's going to be very exciting, so you're going to want to stick around for 4 o'clock. But let's get into some headlines. Tomorrow is Minnesota's Give to the Max Day, not Give to Max Day.
Damn it. Every year, I think. When are we going to change this? I need to start going outside picketing.
Yes.
It's teasing me every year. I keep thinking that finally this is my year to be given, to be waited upon.
Right.
But it's always give to the max. I'm just Max. I'm not pompous enough to call myself the Max.
The Max.
There's other Maxes.
Right.
But I guess it's a different kind of thing, isn't it?
It is. It's a good
charity thing.
It's a great cause, though. Second Harvest Heartland, they're hosting a turkey dinner distribution event at Community Emergency Services in Minneapolis tomorrow from 1 to 3 o'clock. You see it there on the screen. They're going to serve whole turkeys along with the traditional Thanksgiving sides to Minnesota families experiencing food insecurity. It's a great organization, so if you can go donate a turkey or whatnot, you can give to the max tomorrow.
Absolutely. Give to the max. I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? My mom's going to be whipping up something nice on Thanksgiving, surely. But everybody out there deserves to have a good, nice Thanksgiving meal. So give to the max. You see the info right there. Go ahead and go do it.
No doubt, no doubt. Speaking of everybody winning and everybody deserving something, Minnesota Twins fans, you all deserve a win. You finally got a championship last night. The first ever MLB Open golf tournament. It took place at Shadow Creek Golf Course in Las Vegas. Really beautiful piece of property in southern Nevada there. Team Twins, comprised of Aaron Hicks and Royce Lewis, they won the golf tournament. All 32 teams competed. They beat out the Rangers, Braves, Red Sox, Tigers, who ran out the top 5. The Twins, they won a golf tournament. This is amazing.
Hang the banner.
It's
Hang
awesome.
the banner, y'all. We won the MLB Open.
The MLB Open, the inaugural, the first ever MLB Open.
Can't hit a pitch to save our lives, but apparently, our long game and a short game is pretty nice.
Yep. The Dodgers finished next to last, very down the list. The Blue Jays way down the list.
I'm surprised Royce Lewis couldn't even get on the green because of salary. He was complaining about his salary. He's got kids to feed or whatever.
Right.
So I'm surprised he can even get out there with that low salary. But hang the banner, Target Field. I expected the banner hanging on opening day in March because this is truly a feat. Yeah, it's so cool.
It's pretty
Can you
cool.
not? My excitement is palpable. I'm so proud of you guys. Thank you. This is what the Twin Cities have been waiting for. Twins, golf is back.
Golf. The Twins are the best MLB team at golf. It's amazing. There are more golf courses in Minnesota per square mile than any other state. It's just awesome. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's great.
In Shadow Creek, this is a very awesome, prestigious place.
I'm sure it's
beautiful.
Great. Shout out to the people at Shadow Creek and shout out to Royce Lewis.
Yes.
Who was the other guy?
Aaron Hicks.
Yes. Oh, great.
Yeah.
We're so proud of you guys.
I forgot that he was a Twin. I really remember him from being a Yankee.
Yeah, I didn't even remember that he was on the team.
Yeah.
I barely remember that they were a baseball team. This is great. This is a step in the right direction.
They did
turning
win.
it around.
They did win.
They turned it. End of the season, new manager.
That's right.
They had the fire sale at the trade deadline. Everybody said, we don't see the vision. This is what it was all for. This is what the Polads, when they backed out of selling the team, this is what they had in mind. People didn't see the vision. I stuck with you, Polads. I stuck with you the whole time. I saw the vision, and finally they completed it after all this hard work, blood, sweat, tears. The MLB Open is ours.
They won.
Hang the banner.
They sure did. They actually won. It's amazing. It's awesome. There is another Minnesota sports team that's actually winning right now. It's the Minnesota Wild. Jessie Pierce, our friend, she's the co-host of the Bar Down Beauties podcast. She'll be joining us next to talk Wild. Huge game tonight against the Carolina Hurricanes. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the afternoon shift. The Minnesota Wild, they have completely turned it around ever since the calendar flipped to November.
They really have. They've been red hot. I think they're on some type of crazy point streak. A real team that we should be talking about, not the damn Minnesota Twins in this freaking golf tournament. The Minnesota Wild are a legit team, and they're playing against the best of the best tonight.
Yes. The Carolina Hurricanes, one of the best teams in the NHL. But so are the Minnesota Wild right now. Joining us now is the co-host of the Bar Down Beauties podcast, Ms. Jessie Pierce. Jessie, welcome to the afternoon shift.
Hi, boys. Hey, but we'll take our sports wins where we can get them. If it works, it works. The Twins, sure, why not?
Should we hang the banner, Jessie?
Always. You always hang that banner. You hang every little pitiful banner you can. So it makes you feel good on the inside.
We're going to hang a legitimate banner inside Grand Casino Arena one day.
Let's do it.
Maybe it's this year. What's led to this sudden turnaround with the Wild, Jessie?
It's kind of crazy. I think they've just gotten some really good goaltending. Jesper Velstad, who will start tonight against the Carolina Hurricanes, has really helped push Philip Gustafsson and kind of give a good 1-2 punch when it comes to goaltending for the Minnesota Wild. In addition, in front of them, the defense, which I believe last time we talked, I had mentioned to you guys, was a big concern of mine. They've figured it out. They're not leaky. They're shutting teams down. So you're not getting the sexiest of games. You're not getting the goals galore from the Minnesota Wild. That certainly makes you want to tune in, maybe at 9 o'clock like we're going to be tonight. But you're getting wins, and you're getting wins very defensively. So I think that's kind of the biggest thing, and they're going to keep pedal to the metal because the Carolina Hurricanes, as you guys mentioned, are going to be a tough opponent coming into St. Paul tonight.
Are we going with Wall of St. Paul? I've heard that's the nickname for Volstead, the Wall of St. Paul. I like that.
That's what I've said. But I think somebody corrected me and said it's supposed to be the Great Wall of St. Paul. Apparently, I dubbed it wrong, so it's the Great Wall of St. Paul. He was earned that nickname when they drafted him first overall a couple of years ago, and certainly it's come to fruition after a tough year last year. Kids bounced back, and he's doing just fine so far this season.
And kind of on top of that, he's got an amazing defense in front of him, led by Jonas Brodin and Jared Spurgeon there. Could you just kind of talk about this incredible, stifling Wild defense?
It is. It's stifling's the perfect word. They're shutting down opponents left and right. The fast teams too, right? Which again, Carolina is going to be quick, but you saw them against the Anaheim Ducks, the San Jose Sharks, who people have for the past few seasons written off, but they've got some really speedy young talent. The Macklin Celebrinis, the Will Smiths, the Leo Carlsons, guys that are leading the NHL in points right now. Minnesota was able to shut them down, and while they didn't get the 2 points against the Sharks, they still did a very good job of eliminating Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith in regulation. So Spurgeon, Brodin, you got to give a credit to Faber. Middleton is back in the mix, and even Zebullium and Damon Hunt, another young guy who has really shown his stripes the past couple games, collectively have done a really, really nice job at limiting those opportunities of the opposing offense.
Jessie, we were referencing the Carolina Hurricanes there. They're 13-5 this year. It's one of the best records in the NHL. They're one of the Stanley Cup frontrunners. What should we know about the Hurricanes going into tonight's game?
They're very good. That's just to say the least, right? Again, a very speedy team. Minnesota just saw them not too long ago on the road and played very well. I think it was a 5-4 final, which is, again, against a very hot Eastern Conference team, is solid. But I think where you really have to look at is their top two lines. Sebastian Aho, they've got Seth Jarvis on the second line. So that's the thing. It's a 1-2 punch. Their top six forwards are everything that Minnesota Wild fans would dream of. So not only is the defense going to have to really have its work cut out for them, guys like Joel Eriksson Ek, who has been awesome at matching up against top centers on the opposing team. He's going to have to really work hard, win some of those faceoffs. And Danila Yurov, who was getting first line center minutes tonight with the injuries of Marco Rossi and Ryan Hartman, he's going to really have to step into play. And you're going to need Kirill Kaprizov to do the darn thing to offset some of that quick offense that Carolina has prided themselves on.
You mentioned it earlier, Jesse. It's a late night tip, 8:30, and that really, with the NHL, that usually means like closer to 9, right? I mean, it's going to be a late one. I don't know if you have like statistics or just anecdotally, I guess, because you're watching every single game, covering every single game. Well, how do the Wild do on these late night tip kind of games? How do you do?
I don't do well, Max. I don't do well. It's not I'm in bed by like 10 p.m. if I can. I go hit the gym in the morning, so I don't do well at all. And I was, talking even to Mikey Riley, who is from Minnesota, plays for the Carolina Hurricanes. I chatted with him today, just shooting off cuff, and he had said, I know it's hard. I got to switch everything. You're eating lunch late. You're trying to take your naps accordingly. It's hard. It's hard for fans. It's hard for players. At least the players, once they get on the ice, they're going to get that natural adrenaline rush, or that's what you hope. For the fans and the media, I would say a lot of coffee. And hopefully there's some excitement on the ice to get our adrenaline going. But in general, I don't have facts and stats for how the Wild do. But they're professional athletes. They better turn up, because if they give me a boring, dull game, I'm going to have words. If this game goes into overtime, I'm calling the police. My lawyers, they will be hearing from my lawyers, because I can't do that.
There's nothing worse than being a person covering the game and all the other fans are like, yes, more hockey, more basketball. And you're just sitting there with your head in your hands like, yeah, this is great. I
have to rewrite my whole story. Like, I have to copy paste. I always have 2 running stories going because I have to file at the buzzer. So as soon as that goal goes in, I have to finish it. And it's a whole thing. I know. Listen to me complaining about having to cover sports for a living, but still, there's problems with that,
There are. You mentioned Mikey Riley, who's on the Carolina Hurricanes. He went to the University of Minnesota. I just had curiosity. What's it like talking to some of these guys that are either from the state or maybe went to U of M? They come back, they're playing the Wild. Is this sort of like, it's not an original 6 team, and I get that, but is this a really special place for opposing players to come in and play?
I think you'll always get those memories, right? You have guys that played in the state tournament, and that's their fondest memory. And there are so many state of hockey born players in the NHL right now, because we do things right here in Minnesota, that it's not far and few between. I think almost every team has at least one Minnesotan with a memory. Mikey and I were actually talking about the Gophers and how it's been probably quite some time since the Gophers have fallen out of favor in the national standings, because yikes, that college hockey squad is struggling a little bit. But yeah, it's always fun. And it's guys that I've covered maybe from high school. Like, I think I met Mikey when he played for the Gophers for the first time. So just that opportunity to kind of catch up and like I said, just say, hey, how are you? Keandre Miller, another local boy on the Carolina Hurricanes. It was nice to check in with him. And it's great. As great as that is, they certainly know how to turn that fandom off for the state of hockey once they come in as the opposing team.
Jesse, I know in journalism school they tell you you're not supposed to ask 2-part questions, but I have a 2-part question for you. One, how badass was that lady that got hit in the face by the puck the other night and just cheered up, just rallied the crowd as she's just got blood pouring from her face? And also, speaking of badass ladies, what's the latest with the Frost in the PWHL?
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, only in hockey are you going to see a fan get hurt, bloodied, and still just be the rally cry that the team maybe needs as she exits. And the ironic thing, that's the second fan that's gotten hit with a puck this year. I think there was another fan I saw. They didn't have quite the gumption to get people going, but it's happened. So shout out to her for sure. The Frost kicking off their season opener on Friday, 6 p.m. against the Toronto Scepters. They're raising their second banner that night as well. So that's going to be very, very exciting. Chatted with Maddie Rooney and Nicole Hensley this week on Bar Down Beauties and got to check in with them. It's a very different looking Frost squad. The Minnesota Frost have been fortunate to have 2 very, very good teams, noticeably so because they won back-to-back titles naturally. But with the expansion, they now is a PWHL team in Seattle and Vancouver. They lost a lot of players. So it's going to be an uphill battle. Vancouver's looking real stacked. But it's a new season, fresh start. The girls are ready to get going. And again, that puck drops at Grand Casino Arena Friday at 6 p.m. against the Toronto Scepters. So hoping for three-peat, maybe? It takes the ladies to win titles in this town. We all know that, so we'll see what they can do.
We could get one back with the men's here, hopefully, too. The Wild, the next 4 games, all really, really, really tough. This doesn't even include tonight. At Pittsburgh, at Winnipeg, at Chicago versus Colorado. All of these teams have winning records. In fact, Colorado has the best record in the NHL. They've only lost 1 game. They're 13-1, I think I read. How important is this, I guess, 5-game stretch coming up for the Wild beginning tonight?
I mean, every game right now, they dug such a hole in October, as you guys had mentioned, that record just abysmal. And lucky for them, some other teams that had started out hot are starting to fall out of favor, and Minnesota's getting the points that they need. But yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle, frankly, the rest of the year. Colorado's still Colorado. Last year, they felt a little off, but that's going to be a heck of a game in St. Paul the day after Thanksgiving. One of my favorite games every year. Usually it's against the Jets. This year it's against the Avs. I'm all for it. It's an afternoon game. Come out, get rowdy, have a good time, because they're certainly going to need your support behind them. But yeah, Chicago, they're looking good. Connor Bedard doing his thing, making Chicago Blackhawks resurge into the conversation. The Winnipeg Jets, we all know what they're about. And I forget, who are they playing? The first road trip.
The Penguins. Yes.
The Penguins, that's right.
Yes.
Thank you. See, once they leave my vision of Minnesota, I don't care. They're fine. They're away. And yeah, Pittsburgh, I mean, Sid the Kid, right? There's enough said there. They need every point they can get, though, really, at this point, especially when you get into those Western Conference opponents like Chicago, Winnipeg, and Colorado. There's no room for error anymore.
Mm-hmm. What are the lines looking like tonight, Jesse?
People love the lines. The lines, if you look on paper, don't look great. I'll be honest. They don't look awesome. You're without Marco Rossi, Ryan Hartman, Vladimir Tarasenko, Zach Bogosian still hurt, Nico Sturm still hurt, but it sounds like those guys are mounting a comeback. Ryan Hartman recently moved to injured reserve, so he's going to be out for a little bit longer. Marco Rossi already on IR. So it's not ideal, but you've got Kirill, Danila Yurov, and Matt Zuccarello in the top line. And that's going to be exciting to see. Yurov is a young guy. I'm just hoping he can keep up. Your second line stays intact with Jules Eriksson and Matt Boldy and Marcus Johansson. We've seen what they can do. Then you've got Marcus Foligno, Yakov Trenin moving to center, which he hasn't done in a number of years, and Vinny Hinostroza over on the right. And then at the bottom line, you've got Ogren and I forget who, Ben Jones and somebody else. I don't know. Fourth line. It's fine. But it's not ideal. Again, on paper, you look at that lineup and you're like, oh, that's a dub for the opposition. But if you can get a couple guys really shutting them down, I think they'll be okay.
The fact that you can even rattle off those names, and those names are not easy names to rattle
honestly,
off. Yeah.
You could have just said anything. Props to you for being honest. That was like your remember that old commercial when he's like, "It's out on me, coach. It's out on me." Right. That was your version of that, because you could have just said anything, and I'd have been like, "Yup." Because we just trust your wild information, Jesse. You're the best.
Drive me nuts. Who is the? Oh my goodness, guys! I don't even. Somebody.
We're talking the Nutcracker later today. She could have said Tchaikovsky. I was like, oh,
yeah,
I guess he's playing hockey too. You
know?
Yeah,
the Sugar Plum Fairy.
Yeah, the Sugar Plum Fairy. Yeah,
that's
of course.
The guy, guys. That's the guy. Tyler, he's a Minnesota guy. So there we
go. There it is.
Yeah.
Jesse, where can people learn more about you and watch the Bar Down Beauties podcast?
Bar Down Beauties, new episodes every Tuesday, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. You can follow me where I do correctly put the lines out with all the names intact at Jesse, JESSI_Pierce, PIERCE. And whenever I join you fine folks, I appreciate it.
Yes.
Thanks, Jesse. You're the best.
Thanks, boys. Have a good one.
That was great and super. I mean, just like all the names and everything. It's just unbelievable.
It's super impressive.
Yeah,
that was like Twista.
Yes.
Like when she was just naming them off, just rapid fire like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, props to her. She could have said anything. I would have believed her.
Yes. And that day after Thanksgiving game against the Avalanche, I didn't even know it was an afternoon game. That's got to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
People, you're having no work. Like
no
you're just
work.
Drinking.
Drinks are gonna be flowing. The crowd is gonna be.
Yes.
Absolutely wild. That might be a fun one to go to.
Yes.
You've never been to a wild game, right?
I've been to a
that
wild
might be a good one to go to your first one, especially it's against the Avs, you said?
Yes.
People do not like the Avs around here.
Yes.
A little bit of a rival. I don't know if they consider us a rival, but I think we kind of consider them a rival.
Yeah.
So it should be fun.
And you can go pregame to Casetas, which it's coming. This little tease. They're coming to the afternoon shift.
Really?
They're coming in studio.
Wow.
Yes, they are.
One of my favorite restaurants in all of Minnesota.
See, we love St. Paul. All the restaurants we bring over here are all from St. Paul.
don't know why
we don't bring it Minneapolis
ragging on
restaurants.
St. Paul.
I don't.
I know. I'm a huge
love
St. Paul guy. I'm a huge St. Paul guy.
You're a huge St. Paul guy?
Yeah, I've always loved St. Paul. I live in Minneapolis, but my heart is in St. Paul.
Your heart's in St. Paul.
Yeah.
Yes. We love St. Paul, and we're excited to bring Casetas. That's Tuesday of next week, so be on the lookout for that. We're going to stick with the food theme. We're going to talk some turkey coming up next.
Yeah, let's do it. Thanksgiving's right around the corner, and Minnesota's home to some of the best turkeys in all of the world, especially the good old US of A.
Yes, some turkey talk with the Minnesota Turkey Growers Association. That's coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the afternoon shift. It's all about food today. We're 8 days to Thanksgiving.
I know, and I cannot wait for Thanksgiving. And what's Thanksgiving without a good turkey?
Of course. Joining us now with the latest on Thanksgiving turkeys is the program director for the Minnesota Turkey Growers Association, Mr. Peter Sharp. Peter, welcome to the afternoon shift. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Peter, why is Minnesota such a big turkey state?
Yeah, so it got started a long time ago. Honestly, our farmers started raising turkeys as a way to diversify and find new sources of income. And we have the perfect climate. We are not too unbearably hot in the summer. We're not too unbearably cold in the winter. It works out really well. And we have plenty of feed. Corn and soybeans are grown here in Minnesota, so we've got lots of feed for the turkeys.
Now, clearly, you guys are the goats at growing turkeys, to cross animal references there. What goes into growing a good turkey?
So the ration is a big thing, as well as genetics. And then biosecurity is extremely important. Our growers take protecting their flocks very seriously. They take the health of their flocks very seriously. So that's kind of why a lot of our birds are raised indoors. It's just to keep them safe and away from wildlife.
Peter, you brought up there that you like to keep the birds healthy, and that's why they're staying indoors. I know the avian flu, that was a thing several weeks ago. What's the latest with that?
So thankfully, knock on wood, we haven't had a case in a few weeks now. Our last commercial turkey flock case happened in October. We've had a couple of backyard flocks since then, but it has cooled down, and we hope it will stay away again. It's very seasonal disease. So it follows the migration of the wild birds. So when the ducks and the geese and other migratory species come flying over the state, they often bring that disease in and impact our birds. But like I said, we've been quiet for a few weeks now, and we hope that continues.
Being on that side of the turkey biz around this time of year, I would imagine you guys are just sending turkeys out of the door till the cows come home. How many turkeys do you guys move around this time of year? Like, how many turkeys do Minnesotans specifically consume around this time of year?
So in Minnesota, we raise about 37 to 40 million turkeys every year, and that's annually. The turkey industry is not it's not cyclical. It's a constant flow of turkeys throughout the year. The producers are always trying to keep their barns full. And then our retailers and our processors, they understand Thanksgiving is a big push. In the next 2 months, over Thanksgiving and Christmas, America will consume about 30 million turkeys. So quite a few. But a lot of those are going to be frozen birds that have been pre-ordered by our retail stores. So there's no concern about shortages at the market.
And Peter, what percentage of those 30 million turkeys that Americans will consume this holiday season do you think are Minnesota-grown turkeys? Because you can buy Minnesota-grown turkeys in other states, correct?
Correct. So we export a lot of our turkeys. I couldn't give you a figure on how much is going to be raised in Minnesota versus some of the other states, because a lot of ours does leave the state. A lot of it stays in the state. You know, if you're looking for a Minnesota brand turkey, you want to look for the Jenny O label. You want to look for Turkey Valley Farms label, Ferndale Market, and Northern Pride are the four main sources of turkey in Minnesota. But yeah, I couldn't tell you exactly how many from Minnesota will be consumed in the next few weeks.
Speaking of Minnesota-grown turkeys, we all know the annual tradition of the president pardoning a turkey shortly before Thanksgiving. A lot of those turkeys have been Minnesota-grown turkeys in the past. Now, I mean, obviously the president has a lot on his plate these days. Maybe turkey's not one of them, but do we know if the president is pardoning a turkey and if that turkey's from Minnesota?
So the turkey will not be from Minnesota this year. I'm not in the planning of that this year. But I believe they're coming from a Butterball farm, which would probably be North Carolina, but I'm not 100%. Where the turkey for the presidential pardon comes from is determined by who the executive chair of the National Turkey Federation Board of Directors is. So last year, that chairman was John Zimmerman from Northfield, Minnesota. And he brought the two turkeys, Peach and Blossom. And you can actually visit Peach and Blossom at Farm America in Waseca. They're on display. They are egg ambassadors. They'll actually be on display the Friday after Thanksgiving for Farm America's annual turkey trot.
Awesome. That's great information there. For the turkeys that don't get pardoned and that do get sold, just right from the Minnesota Turkey Farmers Association, what are some do's and don'ts for how to cook the turkey this Thanksgiving?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing you want to do is you want to thaw that turkey in the fridge. It's something to think about ahead of time. You're looking at about 24 hours per 4 to 5 pounds of bird that it needs to thaw in the fridge. You want to put it in its original wrapping in a pan on the bottom shelf of the refrigerator. The next step, I like to brine my turkeys. You can do a water brine or a dry brine, and we've got some really good recipes and information on our website, minnesotaturkey.com, or on our Facebook page, Discover Minnesota Turkey. I personally like the water brine, so the day before Thanksgiving, I will soak that turkey in water, salt, sugar, and other flavorings just to give it a good juicy meat and a lot of flavor.
Is there anything creative you guys do with turkey? Like, I'm assuming since you're eating turkey all the time, you got to switch it up a little bit. Like, is there anything creative or innovative you guys are doing with the turkey for Thanksgiving dinner?
So for Thanksgiving, my family likes it traditional. A few years back, I did do a maple bourbon brine and glaze. That was a little too sweet for my dad, but the rest of my family enjoyed it. But we do have a lot of creative recipes online. And you don't necessarily have to do just a traditional roast. You know, if you've got a smaller gathering, you can do turkey breast. And there are tons of different ways you can do that. You can wrap that with like a spinach and pesto. You can do all kinds of flavoring. It's an extremely versatile protein. And it doesn't have to be just for Thanksgiving. You know, it's great on the grill. It's great on the smoker. So there are a lot of opportunities to eat turkey year round.
And what's that average turkey going to cost you this Thanksgiving? I know it's sort of the price point that everybody wants to know. What's the average cost?
So the average cost is going to be right around anywhere from I've seen as low as 80 cents a pound up to about $1.20 a pound. This time of year, retailers will typically mark down their turkeys, use them as a loss leader, right? So they want to mark their turkey down to bring consumers into the store. So it's a great time to stock up. If you've got the freezer space, pick up a turkey for Thanksgiving and pick up an extra, and you can cook it at a later date. You can also break that turkey down, right? If you buy a whole turkey, which is on sale right now, you don't necessarily have to cook the whole turkey. We've got some great videos on our website that'll show you how to piece it out, to pull out the breasts, to pull out the thighs, to pull out the drumsticks, and cook them separately over the course of several weeks.
Now, you know, here in Minnesota, we like to support our own. So when people are going out to go buy their turkey for Thanksgiving, how do we know it comes straight from the source from here in Minnesota?
So like I said earlier, our biggest processors of turkey are going to be Jennie-O. They lead the nation in turkey. Then we also have the Northern Pride Turkey and Turkey Valley Farms. And then lastly, Ferndale Market by Cannon Falls, Minnesota, where you can actually go right to their farm and buy at their on-farm store.
Peter, this is a kind of a random question I have, but you're in the farms with these turkeys. Do you? I know the birds don't, they can't communicate, but do you think that they know around this time of year that it's time, and they see a lot of maybe their fellow turkeys kind of finding their fate? Do you think the birds know that Thanksgiving is near?
I don't believe so. Turkeys are very curious. They do have, they're intelligent for a domesticated animal. But like I said, the process on the farms is year round. So when our farmers purchase their poults, their baby turkeys from the hatchery, they come in. If they're raising young hens, which your Thanksgiving turkey is going to typically be a young hen, they're going to be raised for about 18 weeks in the barn, and then the whole barn goes out together. So I don't believe that they realize what's going to happen to them. They're mostly concerned with eating and sleeping and drinking, and they have 24-hour access to food and water all the time. So they just live a pretty comfortable life in their climate-controlled barns.
I knew you were gonna. I knew it was gonna come up. It was a topic of debate off the air today. This morning. I know Thanksgiving is coming up though, and so do you. Where can people learn more about what you guys do over there?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can visit our website, minnesotaturkey.com. We've got some videos from our farmers. You can head over to our Facebook, Discover Minnesota Turkey. And actually, if you want to attend a virtual turkey farm tour, Minnesota Ag in the Classroom does an annual virtual farm tour. They'll actually be at John Zimmerman's farm this year. And that'll be, I believe, on the 25th. So the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
Awesome. Peter Sharp, the program director of the Minnesota Turkey Growers Association. We appreciate your time, Peter. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too.
Yes, awesome. The whole barn going out together, it's a little sad, isn't it?
Yeah,
no,
it's
a little sad.
You have a soft spot for turkeys.
I don't know. It's just a little sad.
It's
a little sad.
No, nothing for cats. So you got a soft spot for turkey.
I like eating turkey.
This development.
I do
like this development.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I do have a soft spot.
You do.
I like eating turkey, but it's just sad. It's like they're all going out together.
It is. At least they
like,
got friends. On the way out, you get to go out with your homies.
Yeah, they're going on a field trip, and then there's no coming back from that field trip.
No permission slip.
No permission slip
for that field trip.
We thank Peter Sharp, and go buy Minnesota turkeys. Don't feel bad. Support our local farmers here. We will have more to come from the afternoon shift after this. Welcome back to the afternoon shift. Max, childcare. Was this something that the daycare? You had?
Absolutely. My mom actually she's worked for a childcare center my entire life.
Oh,
I was definitely a daycare kid. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, but she was kind of first she was a teacher.
Yeah.
And then she was kind of like the director.
Yeah.
So I kind of got a little preferential treatment. You know what I'm saying?
I got it.
Boy,
yes.
I could sneak out of class a little bit.
Extra nap.
Yeah, a little extra nap. Play solitaire, Minesweeper. Still don't know how it works. Playing Minesweeper in the office. I was in daycares probably way longer than I was supposed to be. I was way too big up in the daycare. They're like, man, get your old ass out of here.
Yes. Your mom, I'm sure, is one of the most exceptional daycare.
Of course.
Yes.
Easily.
Like, perfect.
Yes, the best.
Unfortunately, not everybody is like that. And Minnesota's had some problems with some abuse allegations at daycare centers across the state. It's a very complex story. And the guy that's in the heart of it is our Fox 9 colleague and good friend, Mike Mazoni. Mike, welcome to your afternoon shift debut. How are you?
Good. How are you?
We're great. Hey, can you tell us more about this story? What's this story all about?
And first, is Mike Mazoni your real name? That's not too good of a TV name. Did you just make that up?
No, that's my real
name.
name.
God, you were born to be on TV. You were born to be on TV. Sorry, Andre, what was your question?
No, it is a great name. We were just got done talking about
It's the
hockey.
alliteration.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It just sounds so TV.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just be Mike Manzoni, the tax guy. Like, you got to be on TV.
Yeah, we just got done talking about hockey. We went from Zambonis to Manzoni.
Zamboni to...
See, you got to write that one down for the end of the episode. Mike, we're happy to have you here. Can you tell us what's all this case all about?
So basically, we started looking into abuse and found that abuse and neglect has gone up dramatically in the last several years. So just some quick stats, between 2022 and 2023 went from 57 to 100. So that's nearly doubling. And then last year, which is the last year that we have kind of the full stats for, continued to go up, surging past 100. The question is, kind of why is this happening? And we don't really know. We talked to the state. They don't have a good answer for it either. Are they catching it more? Are people reporting it more? they don't really have a sense on kind of why this is becoming a problem. We started looking into this earlier this year after a daycare teacher in Plymouth faced a criminal charge, a couple criminal charges for the way she was dealing with some young kids, toddlers in her class. She was fired and then faced criminal charges. I think we have that video that we can show just to give people a sense of kind of what we're talking about here.
Oh, gosh. Goodness.
Scary stuff right here.
So she's going to, like, take... What? Oh, my gosh. So what happened to this teacher right here, or this childcare specialist, I should say?
So this was the Lil Explorers in Plymouth. Her name is Katie Voigt, and she pleaded guilty to 2 counts of malicious punishment of a child. She ended up she was fired, as I mentioned, and she got 10 days of community service and then had to go through anger awareness training as well as therapy. And then, of course, barred from ever working with children again, which is one of the things that
the wrist, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my guess is that this might have been a first offense for her. When we were reporting the story, I don't recall seeing anything else in the court docket. So sometimes you do get a lighter sentence if it's a first offense, and that's one of the options that the state has is preventing people who were accused or charged with this kind of thing from ever working with kids again. I just wanted to run through some of the more dramatic things that we found. So we went through more than 200 reports. Most of these were neglect. So this is something like maybe a teacher looking the other way for a few minutes at a time, a kid wandering outside into the parking lot, that kind of thing, more minor than maybe what we saw there or some of the other things we found. But we did find at least a couple dozen or so physical abuse, sexual abuse cases, verbal abuse, and more than a half dozen involved broken bones. There were cases of kids needing to go to the emergency room, some needing surgery, and even one being left with a permanent scar. So one that kind of really stood out to us, this was at a childcare in Rochester. In June of 24, a staffer there attacked a 14-month-old with a pizza slicer. Cut the infant's face. Eyewitnesses told investigators that the employee just kind of came into the room and started swinging the pizza cutter. Unclear exactly why. That injury required surgery and then left the kid with a scar. This is, again, only 14 months old, so an infant. And then
worst Mad Lib I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's a lot. And here's another one, the Goddard School. This is in Brooklyn Park. Also early last year, a staffer punched a 3-year-old in the back of the head. And this happened on more than one occasion, the report said. So this wasn't just kind of a one-off. This was, punching, a 3-year-old in the head. And
how do you handle story when you get assigned this from Fox 9 and they put this on your system? Mike, we want you to report on this. How do you handle that? Because this is very heavy stuff right here,
and it's sensitive stuff dealing with children.
Yeah, I think it's heavy, but I think you have to remind yourself that it's important. There are parents or people who might be if they don't have kids in daycare might be considering sending their kids to daycare, and I think you have to remind yourself that people do need to know this, even if it's hard. I think some of the harder things are the most important to know. And I don't think that a lot of people, whether you have kids in daycare or not, would assume that this kind of thing is going on. Things that are this severe, where kids are going to daycare and ending up in the emergency room or on an operating table after something that happens to them because of the way an adult behaved. So I think that's kind of what you have to kind of remind yourself of this is something that people need to know or should know.
Yeah.
Capital J journalist right here.
Yes.
Mike Mazoni. Yes. They never give you the report. It's like, smiles are wider these days. There's more rainbows. When's the last time you got to report on something happy? It's been a while.
Nothing that I can immediately recall.
But still, it's important stuff, like you said. You talked about it a little bit earlier. You're saying nobody can really pinpoint why, but I'm sure you've done extensive research. You've talked to people, parents, and people that are in these child care facilities. Do they have any speculation when you talk to these people about why we're seeing this uptick? I mean, almost double within a year's time span. That's a pretty big jump.
Yeah, we talked to the Department of Youth, or the Department, I should say, of Children, Youth, and Families, which now oversees daycares. It was previously under an agency called the Minnesota Department of Human Services, which is a giant agency that oversees a lot of things. A couple of years ago, the state created this new agency, and they kind of took on a lot of programs that deal with children and families, and so daycare oversight was one of those things. We spoke with the inspector general there, who runs the investigative unit that looks into all of these complaints. So these, the complaints that I kind of went through, that's kind of his unit, and they have about 140 staffers. 8 of them are assigned to work on these investigations. They're called maltreatment investigations, and so that includes all manner of abuse, as well as neglect being the most common form of maltreatment in the state. And I asked him, do we have any sense of why this is happening more often? Are you catching it more? Are people just reporting it more? Because remember, these are mandated reporters, so they have to report any kind of abuse to the state. And he had no sense of why this is happening. And in some ways, I think maybe for parents and others, that might even make it more scary, because if you don't know why it's happening, it's hard to kind of tackle it. And we didn't find any evidence that the state wasn't doing its job. It investigates these incidents thoroughly. It reports them to police when necessary. And so when you look at, the hiring of these daycare workers, if they don't have a criminal record, it's hard to predict, this kind of behavior. And when I asked him, how do you get ahead of it? He said, well, it's like asking a cop, how do you prevent crime? It's hard to do. And so there really isn't a clear answer. That's the one thing that we really weren't able to find, and that even the state doesn't have.
Mike, this is a very heavy topic here. Let's wind it up a little bit. Can you tell people more about Mike Mazoni, the guy? We see you on the Fox 9 News each night. Where are you from? What's your background?
So I'm from New England. I grew up just outside of Boston, in a town called Randolph. So it's near Quincy, which is where the presidents are from. Went to college in New York on Long Island, and then kind of worked all over. I've started in Texas, in Corpus Christi, and South Texas.
They have nice beaches there. There's some beaches there. Oh yeah, yes.
Your tan on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then from there went to South Carolina, so the Greenville, Spartanburg area. That's in the upstate.
Yeah.
Covered both South Carolina and North Carolina. From there went down to Orlando, worked at a station there for a couple of years, and then back home to Boston, where I freelanced for a little while before coming to Minnesota last August.
Nice.
Wow. Nice. What would you say is the biggest difference between Minnesota and the other markets that you've been in?
I mean, every market's different, but they're also the same in a lot of ways.
Were you doing sad stories? Is it depressing stories?
A lot of negative, kind of hard news. I would say that some other markets have a lot more of what we in the industry would call spot news. So that's kind of like, breaking news, things that are happening kind of right now, that we're kind of out on the scene covering. The Twin Cities is a little more laid back. I think the Midwest in general seems a little more laid back, but that gives us a chance to kind of dig into, to stories like this, because we have the time and we're given the resources to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any fond memories of Orlando or Corpus Christi or any of these places? I think Corpus Christi, I think they call it the Redneck Riviera. I think that's a little nickname for that city. Yeah. Any fun memories down there?
None that really stand out in particular. I mean, it's all just kind of a blur because it's so many cities and a short amount of time, 10 or so years. So.
Yeah. Probably some good Disney World stuff that you got to do with Orlando. Yeah. Maybe some stories related around Disney.
The old House of Mouse. Is there anything you haven't been able to cover in your career yet that you want to cover?
I don't know if there's anything that I haven't really
You've done it all.
covered that, I mean, mostly, hard news and big stories. I've covered hurricanes. Yeah, a lot of sad stories. But I don't know that there's anything. I think after 15 years, there really isn't anything that you haven't covered that you can think of.
What we make this, a monthly segment. We can do Doom and Gloom with Mike Mazoni. Yeah, you can tell us your latest reporting, what everything's going on with the world. Yeah, that's going on. No, listen. Somebody's got to do it.
No, really.
Somebody's got to do it.
Stuff.
Yeah,
high level stuff.
Yeah. So thank you for where can people see you tonight, and what are you working on tonight?
This story we've set an air date for next Wednesday.
Okay.
Next Wednesday at 9:00.
Yep. Day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yes. And also streaming on Fox Local, fox9.com.
Yep. Yeah. Nice. And then tonight, is there something going on tonight?
Tonight we're looking into a new report from the Minnesota Chamber of Commerce that finds that key economic indicators in Minnesota are lagging behind other states. So they're kind of getting together with business leaders and lawmakers to try to see how they can make the state more competitive and attractive for workers and businesses in the coming years.
Max really wanted to do a whole talker segment on that.
I really did. But Minnesota might be lagging behind, but Mike Mazoni's never lagging behind the rest of the journeys. He's lapping them all around the Twin Cities. Thanks for your time today, Mike.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. More to come from the afternoon shift right after this. It's my favorite segment on the afternoon shift.
It is.
Yes,
it's 4 p.m. recap.
We're a little early. It's 3:59.
Oh, we're not there. We're not at the 3:59 recap today.
Yes. It's been a great show so far. We've gone from Zambonis to Manzonis.
We have.
And we're about to go from Kaprizov to Tchaikovsky.
Oh,
that's right.
I like that. Is he Russian as well?
He is Russian.
I can just tell by the
He is Russian.
Name.
Yes.
The famous composer, director, creator, right? Of the Nutcracker.
Yes. And we I just talked to them. You're gonna love this. It is the Minnesota Ballet Theater. They are in the house in full costume.
Sweet.
In full costume.
Cannot wait.
They're ready to go.
You ever seen the ballet before?
I not the Minnesota Ballet Theater.
Okay.
I have seen the Nutcracker, but not the Minnesota Ballet Theater. Yes, I have.
I've never seen the Nutcracker.
Yes. I didn't really know what was going on.
No.
But there are some of the songs.
Is it like a store? Okay, maybe I should save these questions.
Yeah, they will know all about it.
Okay.
They will know all about it. So we got that, and then the Gophers, they're heading to the friendly confines on the north side of Chicago, that toddling town. They're going to Chicago.
They're going to Chicago.
Going to Wrigley Field.
Blowing into the Windy City to face off against the Northwestern.
That's right. The city with broad shoulders, they call it.
Yeah.
The second city is also another name of it.
City.
Yes. Yeah. We're going to be talking to the Chicago Cubs' Wrigley Field historian.
Wow.
He has a World Series ring from 2016. He's employed by the team.
Holy cow.
Sure
That's
is.
pretty damn cool.
Yes.
And people don't know that there's a pretty decent football history story.
There sure is.
Football history at Wrigley Field. A lot of people wouldn't expect it.
It's
a baseball stadium, obviously, but there's a pretty storied football history. Not courtesy of Northwestern. I've read that they're winless at Wrigley Field.
They are winless. DePaul University's won a game at Wrigley Field. In fact, the name, the Chicago Cubs, it comes really from the Bears. They're the bear and a cub.
Yeah.
The Bears for a long time, for decades.
I've never put that together.
Yes, that's where they get the name.
That's one of those things like when you find out Florida was just Florida the whole time with the space in the middle.
Yeah. I think there's a U in fluoride.
No, Florida.
Oh,
Florida.
Oh, they said fluoride.
No,
Florida.
Florida.
Okay,
No,
yes.
what rapper's name? Fluoride. Talking about Florida. And then once you realize that it's just Florida.
Florida.
The space in the middle. You
Yes.
go, how did I not see that? I didn't
Yes.
even ever put together Bears and Cubs before.
Yeah, I think he could probably talk to that too. He can. This is the.
Yeah.
You ever seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
I've never seen it.
Oh, this is the Sausage King of Chicago that we've got coming on. This is 3-1-2 in a nutshell. I'm really excited
the
about
face
this
of
one.
Chicago.
The face of Chicago.
Can't wait.
We're really excited about this. It's going to be a jam-packed 4 p.m. hour, and we're going to kick it off with the Nutcracker. That's coming up right after this. It's very cute. You're not going to want to miss this. Don't go anywhere. We have a jam-packed house here on the afternoon shift. So pleased to be joined by my friends from the Minnesota Ballet Theatre who are putting on their 24th rendition of the world-famous Nutcracker to ring in the holiday spirit. We have a jam-packed house here. Let's get to everybody's names. We're going to start with the gentleman right next to me, Andrew Lester. You are a guest artist for the Minnesota Ballet Theatre. Kirill, you are the co-founder of the Minnesota Ballet Theatre, and it's so pleased to be joined by our stars here, Philo and Carolina, students at the Minnesota Ballet Theater, all a part of this beautiful production of the Nutcracker that's being put on. I'll start with the two of you all. What's the premise of the Nutcracker for nobody that's seen it before?
As a young girl getting a Nutcracker at Christmas Eve from her uncle,
Yeah.
and the party, her brother breaks it, and her uncle fixes it, and she loves it so much she goes down towards midnight, and there's a battle between rats, and the Nutcracker helps her save them, and they go off on a journey through the snow into a magical kingdom with fairy and flavors of different nationalities and chocolate and coffee and all of these things as a celebration.
Amazing. Philo, Carolina, what's your favorite part about being in the Nutcracker?
My favorite part is when I get to rip off the Nutcracker head because it's very fun.
And Carolina, how about you?
I like to watch backstage and just see all the professionals dancing. It's just so wonderful to see them all dancing.
Amazing, and a lot of great professionals, Kirill, as part of your Minnesota Ballet Theater. Can you talk about the theater and the history and why you all put on the Nutcracker every year? This is the 24th year of it.
Oh, it's a story start in my very, very youth when I was probably in Philo's age. I was student of Vaganova Ballet Academy in St. Petersburg, Russia, and this academy put Nutcracker performance, original choreography of Marius Petipa, on Mariinsky Theater stage. And me as a student, I was perform from age 10 to age 18 different parts. So like I danced many parts of it. And here in US, I learned this is great tradition, family tradition, when people gather together, read the stories, watch the movies, go to see ballet. And it was just great experience to put it what we learn when we was a young, me and my wife. She's also co-founder, Svetlana Bach, co-founder of Minnesota Ballet Theatre, and we put this production on stage. And now, every year, it's going to be our 24th year of performing Nutcracker here in Eden Prairie. Eden Prairie High School is our home stage, and we're happy to be there. Thank you to hosting us. And we're so happy to have such talented student dancers and great guest artists as Andrew, who performed with us about 6 or 7 years. Yes.
Yeah, and I think it's so great that Nutcracker. The ages of all the dancers range from Andrew. I think you're a 2006 graduate. I read of the 2007 the University of Minnesota, all the way down to Philo and Carolina. Some of our youngest dancers, a part of the company. What makes it special for you all to take part in a play that's been around for going on close to 150 years now? I think Tchaikovsky, 1897, something. 1892. What makes it so special to take part in such an ancient play? Maybe, Andrew, you can kick this one off.
The longevity of all of it, and it's a children's ballet, but it's for everyone who's a children at heart.
Yeah.
It keeps that artistry going forward, and because it is based off of Marius Petipa's original choreography, it's like a time capsule for our greater Minnesota audiences. It's such a jewel with so many other productions going on. Like this is really a heartfelt thing that we can share at the holidays to find that magic for all of us. And seeing those guest artists come in and seeing all of these young, aspiring artists looking off into the wings and saying, I want to do that. I want to do that when I grow up. How are they doing that? It reminds you of what it's like and how you want to grow.
That's amazing. That's amazing. How about for you all? Do you all even... do you understand, kind of the history of this show and the importance and the relevance it has in just the world around Christmas time and the holiday season? Either one of you. Carolina, yes.
I like just watching. It's very cool to see everyone doing what they love. At a young age and an older age. It's just so cool to see people just... I don't know how to say it exactly.
Ballet is this oral tradition. We're passing it down from these artists and these wonderful artists and directors who perform these roles abroad, outside of the U.S., and bringing them home to Minnesota audiences, teaching them to new generations of audiences, and raising the bar for them. So the education and the discipline that I've seen these students do year in and year out, under the direction of this wonderful director, is talking about precisely their choreography set to this beautiful music, just exemplifies the music, and is such a wonderful expression of this form and this story going forward for the holiday season.
There's going to be so many people that go and see the Nutcracker for the very first time in their life, and they'll go see it at the Minnesota Ballet Theater. I've seen it one time, not at the Minnesota Ballet Theater, in a different place. For those that maybe have already seen it before, and maybe this is part of their holiday tradition, they go see this every single year. Why should they come back this year to the Minnesota Ballet Theater? What makes this one year special? Maybe.
every year is special.
Yeah.
Every year is totally different. We have different guest artists who come, and it's not like movie. You watch again and again, same actors, exactly same play. Here, it's every time our dancers, they do different story.
Yeah.
Even we'll have 4 performances this year, and believe me, all 4 performances will be totally different.
Yeah.
2 different casts.
Different cast, different charisma of the dancers, how they see the story, how they put their vision to the story. Yeah, there's life, there's technique, there's skills. Yeah, this is like makes. Oh, and sure, we do always like every year we add new costumes. We update the costumes. We do some backdrops, things. Yes.
Beautiful costumes that you all have on. Can you talk, maybe Philo? Can you talk about what you're wearing right now?
Right now I'm wearing the costume that Fritz has when he goes to the party.
How about you, Carolina? What costume are you wearing?
I'm wearing Clara's party dress.
Yeah.
That she does the half of the first act in.
It's so beautiful. And Andrew, what about you?
His uncle or godfather was eccentric. Maybe the hair might go a little bit more crazy, but more refined so that the dolls can speak for themselves and then the colors can pop a bit more.
I love it. Where can people go see the Minnesota Ballet Theater? I think you said it's right here in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, yeah?
Yes, we're almost in the heart of Eden Prairie. It's a performing arts center in Eden Prairie High School, which is beautiful facility. Some amazing thing about this audience, no matter where you're sitting, you can see stage so clear. It's so good, so people don't have to worry like if they're sitting on the edge of the side, but they will see those production very, very good.
Yeah. Philo, Carolina, I got to ask you, when did you get your start in ballet? How old were you?
I started when I was only 4 years old, but I started doing the Nutcracker when I was 6.
Good. And how old are you now, Philo?
Right now I'm 10, turning on to 11.
Wow. Unbelievable. And Carolina, how about you?
I started doing dance when I was 3, and I did tap and ballet for around 1 hour a week. And then I did competition for a little bit when I was 8, I think. And then I started doing more ballet at 9 or 10, and then I started the Nutcracker at 10.
And Andrew, how does it must feel for you to kind of see the generations that have kind of spanned here? And you talk about the Nutcracker being a children's play at heart. I'm sure you were in Philo Carolina's shoes, way back when. How does it feel for you to kind of see this transgression?
It's wonderful. I started when I was 11. I came from arts and theater and whatnot, and the director I said you should try to dance. You have this natural affinity for it. And when I actually started with the school, there was a young woman who I graduated high school with, and her daughter was a senior girl in the school at the time. So it was just really nice to see the dedication that the instructors have at the school. They're always the best at showing up all level of the student body, and so they're always putting their best foot forward. So it's great to see them grow as actors and as artists and share that mentorship in a quiet way.
One thing I was really fascinated by going to see the Nutcracker for my first and only time, I went in completely blind, didn't know anything about the show at all, but I was amazed by how much of the show is already kind of in, American sort of culture, the sugar plum fairies, the candy canes, the dances, some of the musics, dun dun dun. Isn't that from the Nutcracker? I think, it's just like, it's pretty amazing stuff, how you kind of have it all there together. So, Kirill, you do an excellent job. Where can people go buy tickets to the Nutcracker?
The best place to buy tickets of Minnesota Ballet Theatre website, which is mnballettheatre.org, and there's Nutcracker head. They can just click and they see floor plan and they can choose tickets and buy them online.
Amazing. Kirill, Andrew, Philo, Carolina, thank you all so much for coming to the afternoon shift today, for profiling your beautiful play. I know you're just right down the road in Eden Prairie, and we really appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to going and seeing you all. Folks, it's December 12th through the 14th, I believe. Go see the Nutcracker right here in Eden Prairie. It's gonna be a really great show. Thank you all so much again for coming here. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome. Thank you. Listen, everybody, the Minnesota Golden Gophers football team, they are heading to the north side of Chicago to take on the Northwestern Wildcats at historic Wrigley Field this Saturday. And we are so pleased to be joined coming up next by the Chicago Cubs' own Wrigley Field historian. I'm so pumped to be talking to him. He's my buddy Brian. Don't go anywhere. The afternoon shift continues right after this. We are back here on the afternoon shift. Max, your alma mater, they're heading to Chicago this weekend.
They are, and not just anywhere in Chicago, historic Wrigley Field.
The friendly confines of Wrigley Field. Look, this is a historic place they played. They played in the Shoe at Ohio State this year. Autzen Stadium at Oregon. Ooh. Hopefully we can get a different result on the north side this weekend. Yes. Joining us now is the Chicago Cubs' official Wrigley Field historian and lifelong Cubs fan, Mr. Brian Bernardoni. Brian, welcome to the afternoon shift. How are you, sir?
Really good. I mean, I think the odds are very good for Minnesota. Northwestern has not won a home game at Wrigley Field in its history at the ballpark. So I feel pretty good about Minnesota in this circumstance.
Yeah, Max, you were talking about that. Had Northwest, they never won at Wrigley Field.
They're winless. In Wrigley Field. What's the deal with that?
That's a deep question. I'm a 57-year-old guy from Chicago, and while I wasn't a Big Ten graduate, it's almost like dealing with the Cubs when the Cubs were winless for a long time. Northwestern has had their streaks of greatness and not so greatness, and I think Wrigley Field hasn't helped much. Maybe when they're in the new stadium next year, that'll change.
Yes, and their temporary stadium is absolutely gorgeous on the banks of Lake Michigan. Yeah, it looks awesome. Brian, can you talk to us?
There's actually two absolutely gorgeous ballparks right off of Lake Michigan. One of them happens to be Wrigley Field as well. So
yes. Can you talk to us about the history of football at Wrigley Field? Everybody knows of it for being the home of the Chicago Cubs, but there's a pretty rich football tradition there too.
Chicago is Wrigley Field is an interesting place for baseball and for football. I think a lot of people tend to think of the ballpark as being one of those places that it's just for baseball, but fact of the matter is football's been played there from a professional level since 1921 when the Chicago Bears moved to Wrigley Field, and at that point it was Cubs Park, and that was a handshake deal. And then in 1923, Northwestern began its relationship with the Chicago Cubs.
Now, how are a lot of the football nerds and the beat reporters and stuff like that? They're going to get into with a different kind of stadium. They're going to get into like the grass conditions and all that kind of stuff. What is kind of typically what have people said when football is played at Wrigley about the grass conditions?
Well, I mean, I hate to be a purist when it comes to football, but playing on natural grass is great. Mm-hmm. Playing at Soldier Field is probably not as great as the experience that the guys from Minnesota are going to have playing at the friendly confines. Look, we've got the best greenskeepers in Major League Baseball there. It's a ballpark where the turf has never really been an issue in baseball. And again, I don't suspect it's going to be a problem for the Gophers.
You talked about the Bears playing at Wrigley Field. I was telling Max, I'm pretty sure that there's some story between the Chicago Bears name and the Cubs name. Obviously, a Cub is just a baby bear. Are those two things affiliated because of that relationship at Wrigley?
Yeah, that's a great question. The fact of the matter is that a handshake deal took place between George Halas and the Veeck family. Bill Veeck was the general manager of the Chicago Cubs, and it was essentially a deal that one of us are going to get all the ticket prices, the other guy's going to get the concessions, and that handshake deal lasted for 50 seasons. With that said, Halas took a look at the Cubs situation and said, my guys are a lot bigger than your guys are, so they must be Bears. Mm-hmm. And of course, the very familiar orange and blue of the Fighting Illini became the orange and blue of the Chicago Cubs.
Yes. I want to ask you about the Bears in a second here, but I'm curious, while we're just on the subject of kind of just like the Chicago pantheon of teams, right? Where does Northwestern fit into that in terms of like people, how much people like them in terms of all the different Chicago sports franchises, programs? Where does Northwestern rank among those?
So what I would say to this, I would head it this way, Zach. You've got a city that's got the Chicago Bears, the Chicago Cubs, the Chicago White Sox, the Chicago Bulls, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Chicago Sky, the Chicago Fire, and you are the marketing director for Northwestern University, trying to figure out how do you wedge Northwestern football and Northwestern athletics in there. Fact of the matter is they do pretty good. Northwestern's got a great fan base here in Chicago, and to be honest, we're the headquarters of the Big Ten too, right? So the Big Ten's got a real good imprint here. I think when folks come here to Friendly Confines this weekend, they're going to find a very friendly atmosphere for the Gophers, for their fans, and a lot of respect for both teams.
I love that. You got the Vikings purple hanging up behind you. Can you tell us why you got that jersey back there?
Well, I'm a diehard Cub fan. Let's put that on the table. I'm a diehard Chicago Bear fan. But my Uncle Bobby, who is on your ring over in Minnesota, played for the Minnesota Vikings. And that's Uncle Bobby's jersey behind me over here. And I thought I would give you guys a little bit of love before I flashed the
it hurts. It's like kryptonite. It hurts. Oh, my gosh.
The Twins kid, we can get one of those soon.
It's been a while for you guys, right?
It's been a long time. Hey, they won the freaking MLB golf tournament, so hang the banner for that.
No, Uncle Bobby says hi. Look, I think as a representative of the family in this moment, I'm just going to say thank you for honoring the second all-time interception leader for the Minnesota Vikings. Bobby is doing well. He's great. He married up when he married my Aunt Tony, and it's the one piece of Minnesota Vikings memorabilia that I have, and I do wear it when they're not playing the Chicago Bears. Wait, hold on. The first place Chicago Bears.
Wow, that is true. The Vikings
right.
just took a loss to those Chicago Bears just on Sunday. And I got to ask you, we've talked about the Cubs ups and downs a little bit and all the different Chicago sports teams. What does the Bears' success this season, what does that mean to the city of Chicago?
Well, because I'm here on the Wrigley Field angle, let me go with this. There have been 370 football games played at Wrigley Field. NFL games there. And the Bears did very well in those games historically. Look, in my real profession, I'm a public affairs person. I'm a lobbyist. And I'll tell you, on a Monday after the Bears win, you can feel a vibe in this town. And that's always been there. I think a lot of people, there's not a lot of passive Chicago Bears fans. Like, you're not going to find a lot of passive Green Bay Packer fans. Those rivalries are real. They're intense. When the Bears win, it's a fabulous thing. And the city gets a vibe. I think we're starting to feel it here in Chicago. I think there are the talk radio guys out there that have some doubts about the Bears because of the underweighting of their schedule. But we've got a quarterback for the first time almost since 1963 when the Chicago Bears were in the national championship. This would have been one of those press passes that you would have gotten back in those days when they played over at Wrigley. But it's a good team. I'd love to see a little bit more intensity from the defense. Chicago is a very defensive football team psyche. But here, I'll give you a note to that. At Wrigley Field, one of the things that happened was when the Bears were playing at Wrigley, the Cubs had to raise and lower the pitcher's mound during the end of the season in order to accommodate professional football. What people don't realize, though, is that the Bears became a big-time defensive bad weather team because the Cubs pretty much got tired of raising and lowering the pitcher's mound during that September-October part of the season. So what Hallis did with the NFL is they backloaded the season, so the Bears actually became a very good bad weather football team, mainly because the Cubs didn't like lowering the pitcher's mound. Another point of note, I think the Gopher fans that go out there, and definitely the Gopher players when they go out there, they're going to be thinking that we're going to have that big green lush ivy that everyone gets excited about. Guys, we're in the middle of November now. You're practically playing not with bricks and ivy, but bricks and sticks. In fact, Bronco Nagurski learned that the hard way. He barged through the end zone, and we played a slightly shorter end zone at Wrigley Field when the Bears were playing there. But he barreled through, didn't raise his head up, and hit the ivy, which he thought it was, but he actually hit the brick wall. And he came off the field so dazed, he's like, man, that last guy who got me, man, he really gave me a pop. So, I mean, there are those things. I think that for the Gopher fans and the Gopher parents, They don't have to worry about hitting a brick wall. The configuration of the ballpark used to be north-south for the end zones. Now it's east-west. And thanks to the Ricketts family and their dedication to the 1060 program, we've got removable seats, which is going to give fans a world-class vantage point. Let's put that down there. There's not a bad seat in the ballpark, but it's also going to give them the depth to have a full end zone on both sides.
Very nice, very nice. Another iconic part of Wrigley Field, of course, is the red marquee sign outside the ballpark. We were just talking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off earlier in today's show, and that's a very important scene in the movie. It says "Save Ferris" on the sign. What's sort of this backstory behind that iconic sign? Maybe the most iconic sign of any stadium in the world, potentially? I mean, it's up there.
I think we're in a generational thing because my favorite scene with the marquee is probably in the Blues Brothers, where when I hate to say it, but the Nazis, and I hate Illinois Nazis, when the Illinois Nazis were underneath the marquee at the ballpark. Look, the marquee is one of the three main landmark parts of the ballpark. The Ricketts, and this really came through in the 1060 program. The Ricketts preserved the ivy covered wall, the scoreboard, which is all part of that 1937 bleachers setup, and the marquee itself. The marquee's gone through a few color changes. Believe it or not, it used to be green and yellow, like the Green Bay Packers, if you could believe that. It went from being to the red that we have, and there have been occasions where we have actually used it for and painted it purple for Northwestern. So the marquee is really a mainstay. It's iconic in Chicago, and I think it's iconic across the world. I really am envious of the Minnesota fans that are going to come to Chicago and see the ballpark. It's a beautiful neighborhood. It is a beautiful ballpark, and you will always find friendly staff at Wrigley Field.
Blues Brothers, great movie. Just watched it for the first time, like less than a month ago.
Yeah.
What do you guys do all day if you're not watching these great movies?
I know. That's what it's a fan. I can't believe I had never seen it before. It's a fantastic movie, so I know exactly the shot that you're talking about. Now, Brian. Now, obviously, you're a historian at Wrigley Field. You've seen hundreds, maybe even thousands of players come through Wrigley Field. It's probably a tough question, I would imagine. But who's your favorite all-time Chicago Cub?
Well, I've got 4 daughters, and that's like asking which one's my favorite. and to be honest, it's really interesting. I've been very fortunate to work at Wrigley Field for 28 years as a Wrigley Field historian and a docent. We give tours at Wrigley Field, and I would say that I'll put it this way, and I think from your perspective, I think you would appreciate it. Hall of Famers have to be Hall of Famers not only in what they do on the field, but really some of the best Hall of Famers are Hall of Famers in life. And I have found that with Ernie Banks, who introduced me to my wife. I have found that with Billy Williams, who gave me advice about how to raise 4 daughters. I have found that with Fergie Jenkins. I found that with the dearly departed Ryne Sandberg, who could not be a bigger gentleman in life. So if I go back to the old day players, the guys that I got to be around as a Wrigley historian, documentarian, Ernie Banks still will always stand out. He's always going to be Mr. Cub to me. But everyone else that I mentioned is right in that ballpark. When I start thinking about a little bit more modern era ball players, the players that I grew up with, the Mark Graces of the world, the Lee Smiths of the world, the Ryne Sandbergs. Lee Smith is just a heck of a guy to hang out with. If you ever find out he's doing a signing in the Twin City area, you got to go see the guy. He's just a great guy. And a little bit of bias for a player that's not playing anymore, but he's, as an Italian-American, I got to stand up for my Italian-American brethren. Anthony Rizzo could not be a better contributor to not only the game of baseball, but I think really in the game of life. The roles that his family has and helping communities out is pretty tremendous. And he also hit the furthest ball I ever saw at Wrigley Field. A lot of people don't realize that no batted ball has ever hit the scoreboard at Wrigley Field. It's almost a 600-foot hit when you look at both height and distance, right? I mean, you've got loft in there as well. Sam Snead hit it with a golf ball. Wow. Bill Swish Nicholson went right. Roberto Clemente went left. But I saw, gentlemen, Anthony Rizzo off a batting tee hit it 6 rows below the scoreboard.
Wow,
and if any of your audience are big baseball fans, hitting off a tee
yes,
and hitting it well over 570 feet, it was one of those moments where I turned around, I heard, when you watch a lot of pro baseball, you know what that crack sounds like. I mean, you go to minor league baseball, you hear a lot of hits, but you don't hear that crack. When you hear that crack, my head spun around and I saw the ball hit, like I said, about 6 rows below the center field scoreboard. And I looked at the group I was around. Did you guys see that? Do you realize how actually impossible that is? So, and there are lots of things there. I encourage people to test out the neighborhood and see what's going on there. One point I wanted to raise, though, was as much as I love my Uncle Bobby, who got to play in that ballpark, and George Halas hated the opposing team so much that he would turn off the hot water in the visitors' locker room. So imagine you're playing in the mud and slosh of Wrigley Field during the winter. You got bricks and sticks in the outfield. And what are you welcome to? A cold shower, an ice cold shower at Wrigley Field. So home field advantage meant something. But anytime I talk about the ballpark, I also mention my grandmother. My grandmother played at Wrigley Field in 1933 during the Century of Progress. So when people talk about Wrigley Field, I always try to remind them that Wrigley Field has been a mosaic. It's been a great place to change. The beautiful ivy-covered outfield walls, the bleachers, the scoreboard. They weren't there in 1937. The ballpark was much different. And it continues to change. But anybody who is in the outfield looking towards home plate, that view has essentially been there since 1928. So when we talk about old-time baseball, when we talk about jewel box ballparks, Wrigley Field's near the top of it. The only one that comes close is Fenway, which also had football there. And one football factoid, it's always a good one. More professional football was played at Wrigley Field than any other facility in sports except for the Meadowlands. And it took 2 teams to do that. So that great tradition of college football and professional football especially, that thing that we look forward to every Saturday and Sunday, it's inexplicably linked with Wrigley Field.
You are the historian for the Jewel ballpark of Wrigley Field, and you're a Jewel yourself, Brian. Can we get one more flash of that Cubs World Series ring? Let's see that one more time.
No,
that's nice.
I can't see it.
That's awesome.
I can't see it.
I don't know. A lot of folks don't really get to see a little bit close, but I'll do this for your
fans. Oh, yeah, fly the W.
So,
wow.
Each of the rings have 108 diamonds, rubies, and sapphires. They were customized to each of us. So that ring, my ring is unlike anyone else's rings, and et cetera. I popped out a couple diamonds, unfortunately, in the last year. So guess where it's going to go? It's going to go to Jostens in Minnesota, where they will repair my ring for me. But it's the Ricketts family was incredibly generous to me and to my colleagues for the services we provide that organization. And as long as I've got a breath in my heart, that's where I intend to work for the rest of my life.
Go Cubs, go, Brian.
Go Cubs, go.
We appreciate you, my man. Thank you so much.
Hey, have me on anytime. And I hate to say good luck to the Gophers, but look, you got a good squad. I think the fans are going to love it. The weather out here is in the 40s, and that's nothing new to you guys. So that's probably shorts and T-shirt weather for you guys, just like it is for me here in Chicago. And make sure when you order a Chicago-style hot dog, you just order a hot dog with everything rather than that, because then they're definitely going to know that you're from out of town.
I love a
Guys,
good
it's
Chicago.
been great.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. You know the best place to get a Chicago-style hot dog in Chicago?
Where's that?
It's called the Wiener Circle. I'm not joking now. Now, listen, it's on Clark Street in Lincoln Park.
All right.
That is the best.
Wiener Circle.
That's the best hot dog in America.
Really?
Yes. Have you ever had a Chicago handshake before?
No. What is that?
That's an old-style beer.
Yeah.
That's a beer, and then a shot of Malorts, which is like the nastiest.
Oh, yeah. I've had Malorts before.
Yeah.
It is foul.
Yeah.
That is foul. Witch's brew, yeah.
Paul was talking about, what's that, the vitamin to Vegemite?
Yeah.
This is the Vegemite of liquor, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of gross.
That doesn't sound sound great.
No.
But the Chicago style hot dog,
yes,
that sounds great.
Yes, at the Wiener Circle. They used to call me. There's an explicit in here, but broke Barack Obama. That was my nickname with the ladies at the Wiener Circle. That's what they called me, which is a compliment in Chicago.
Yeah,
in
sure.
Chicago,
Yeah,
guy
it's a
from
Chicago compliment.
Yes.
Yeah, Chicago handshake and a Chicago compliment.
A Chicago compliment, exactly. That was great. Go check out Northwestern versus Minnesota at Wrigley Field this Saturday.
Sky-U-Ma,
nah, kind of.
No, roll that damn boat. Come on now.
We'll be back on the afternoon shift. Welcome back to the afternoon shift. You staying up for the Wild Hurricanes game tonight?
Maybe. I got an early morning tomorrow, but I'll try to keep an eye open on the Wild. It's a big game tonight.
It's a huge game. They're playing the Carolina Hurricanes. Jessie Pierce will be staying up for that game.
She has no choice.
She's got no choice.
Otherwise, we're not going to see a report on NHL.com. I'm going to know if she fell asleep.
That's right. Jessie's got a great job. A tough one at times, but a great job. She joined us here at the afternoon shift. Let's take a look.
Hi, boys. Hey, but we'll take our sports wins where we can get them. If it works, it works. The Twins, sure, why not?
Should we hang the banner, Jesse?
Always. You always hang that banner. You hang every little pitiful banner you can. So it makes you feel good on the inside.
We're going to hang a legitimate banner inside Grand Casino Arena one day.
Let's do it.
Maybe it's this year. What's led to this sudden turnaround with the Wild, Jesse?
It's kind of crazy. I think they've just gotten some really good goaltending. Jesper Velstad, who will start tonight against the Carolina Hurricanes, has really helped push Philip Gustafsson and kind of give a good 1-2 punch when it comes to goaltending for the Minnesota Wild. In addition, in front of them, the defense, which I believe last time we talked, I had mentioned to you guys, was a big concern of mine. They've figured it out. They're not leaky. They're shutting teams down. So you're not getting the sexiest of games. You're not getting the goals galore from the Minnesota Wild. That certainly makes you want to tune in, maybe at 9 o'clock like we're going to be tonight. But you're getting wins, and you're getting wins very defensively. So I think that's kind of the biggest thing, and they're going to keep pedal to the metal because the Carolina Hurricanes, as you guys mentioned, are going to be a tough opponent coming into St. Paul tonight.
Are we going with Wall of St. Paul? I've heard that's the nickname for Volstead, the Wall of St. Paul. I like that.
That's what I've said. But I think somebody corrected me and said it's supposed to be the Great Wall of St. Paul. Apparently, I dubbed it wrong, so it's the Great Wall of St. Paul. He was earned that nickname when they drafted him first overall a couple of years ago, and certainly it's come to fruition after a tough year last year. Kids bounced back, and he's doing just fine so far this season.
And kind of on top of that, he's got an amazing defense in front of him, led by Jonas Brodin and Jared Spurgeon there. Could you just kind of talk about this incredible, stifling Wild defense?
It is. It's stifling's the perfect word. They're shutting down opponents left and right. The fast teams too, right? Which again, Carolina is going to be quick, but you saw them against the Anaheim Ducks, the San Jose Sharks, who people have for the past few seasons written off, but they've got some really speedy young talent. The Macklin Celebrinis, the Will Smiths, the Leo Carlsons, guys that are leading the NHL in points right now. Minnesota was able to shut them down, and while they didn't get the 2 points against the Sharks, they still did a very good job of eliminating Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith in regulation. So Spurgeon, Brodin, you got to give a credit to Faber. Middleton is back in the mix, and even Zebulium and Damon Hunt, another young guy who has really shown his stripes the past couple games, collectively have done a really, really nice job at limiting those opportunities of the opposing offense.
Jesse, we were referencing the Carolina Hurricanes there. They're 13-5 this year. It's one of the best records in the NHL. They're one of the Stanley Cup frontrunners. What should we know about the Hurricanes going into tonight's game?
They're very good. That's just to say the least, right? Again, a very speedy team. Minnesota just saw them not too long ago on the road and played very well. I think it was a 5-4 final, which is, again, against a very hot Eastern Conference team, is solid. But I think where you really have to look at is their top two lines. Sebastian Aho, they've got Seth Jarvis on the second line. So that's the thing. It's a 1-2 punch. Their top six forwards are everything that Minnesota Wild fans would dream of. So not only is the defense going to have to really have its work cut out for them, guys like Joel Eriksson-Ek, who has been awesome at matching up against top centers on the opposing team. He's going to have to really work hard, win some of those faceoffs. And Danila Yurov, who is getting first line center minutes tonight with the injuries of Marco Rossi and Ryan Hartman, he's going to really have to step into play. And you're going to need Kirill Kaprizov to do the darn thing to offset some of that quick offense that Carolina has prided themselves on.
You mentioned it earlier, Jesse. It's a late night tip, 8:30, and that really, with the NHL, that usually means like closer to 9, right? I mean, it's going to be a late one. I don't know if you have like statistics or just anecdotally, I guess, because you're watching every single game, covering every single game. Well, how do the Wild do on these late night tip kind of games? How do you do?
I don't do well, Max. I don't do well. It's not I'm in bed by like 10 p.m. if I can. I go hit the gym in the morning, so I don't do well at all. And I was, talking even to Mikey Riley, who is from Minnesota, plays for the Carolina Hurricanes. I chatted with him today, just shooting off cuff, and he had said, I know it's hard. I got to switch everything. You're eating lunch late. You're trying to take your naps accordingly. It's hard. It's hard for fans. It's hard for players. At least the players, once they get on the ice, they're going to get that natural adrenaline rush, or that's what you hope. For the fans and the media, I would say a lot of coffee, and hopefully there's some excitement on the ice to get our adrenaline going. But in general, I don't have facts and stats for how the Wild do, but they're professional athletes. They better turn up, because if they give me a boring, dull game, I'm going to have words. If this game goes into overtime, I'm calling the police. My lawyers, they will be hearing from my lawyers, because I can't do that.
There's nothing worse than being a person covering the game and all the other fans are like, yes, more hockey, more basketball. And you're just sitting there with your head in your hands like, yeah, this is great. I
have to rewrite my whole story. Like, I have to copy paste. I always have 2 running stories going because I have to file at the buzzer. So as soon as that goal goes in, I have to finish it. And it's a whole thing. I know. Listen to me complaining about having to cover sports for a living, but still, there's problems with that,
There are. You mentioned Mikey Riley, who's on the Carolina Hurricanes. He went to the University of Minnesota. I just had curiosity. What's it like talking to some of these guys that are either from the state or maybe went to U of M? They come back, they're playing the Wild. Is this sort of like, it's not an original 6 team, and I get that, but is this a really special place for opposing players to come in and play?
I think you'll always get those memories, right? You have guys that played in the state tournament, and that's their fondest memory. And there are so many state of hockey born players in the NHL right now, because we do things right here in Minnesota, that it's not far and few between. I think almost every team has at least one Minnesotan with a memory. Mikey and I were actually talking about the Gophers and how it's been probably quite some time since the Gophers have fallen out of favor in the national standings, because yikes, that college hockey squad is struggling a little bit. But yeah, it's always fun. And it's guys that I've covered maybe from high school. Like, I think I met Mikey when he played for the Gophers for the first time. So just that opportunity to kind of catch up and like I said, just say, hey, how are you? Keandre Miller, another local boy on the Carolina Hurricanes. It was nice to check in with him. And it's great. As great as that is, they certainly know how to turn that fandom off for the state of hockey once they come in as the opposing team.
Jesse, I know in journalism school they tell you you're not supposed to ask 2-part questions, but I have a 2-part question for you. One, how badass was that lady that got hit in the face by the puck the other night and just cheered up, just rallied the crowd as she's just got blood pouring from her face? And also, speaking of badass ladies, what's the latest with the Frost in the PWHL?
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, only in hockey are you going to see a fan get hurt, bloodied, and still just be the rally cry that the team maybe needs as she exits. And the ironic thing, that's the second fan that's gotten hit with a puck this year. I think there was another fan I saw. They didn't have quite the gumption to get people going, but it's happened. So shout out to her for sure. The Frost kicking off their season opener on Friday, 6 p.m. against the Toronto Scepters. They're raising their second banner that night as well. So that's going to be very, very exciting. Chatted with Maddie Rooney and Nicole Hensley this week on Bar Down Beauties and got to check in with them. It's a very different looking Frost squad. The Minnesota Frost have been fortunate to have 2 very, very good teams, noticeably so because they won back-to-back titles naturally. But with the expansion, they now is a PWHL team in Seattle and Vancouver. They lost a lot of players. So it's going to be an uphill battle. Vancouver's looking real stacked. But it's a new season, fresh start. The girls are ready to get going. And again, that puck drops at Grand Casino Arena Friday at 6 p.m. against the Toronto Scepters. So hoping for three-peat, maybe? It takes the ladies to win titles in this town. We all know that. So we'll see what they can do.
We could get one back with the men's here, hopefully, too. The Wild, the next 4 games, all really, really, really tough. This doesn't even include tonight at Pittsburgh, at Winnipeg, at Chicago versus Colorado. All of these teams have winning records. In fact, Colorado has the best record in the NHL. They've only lost 1 game. They're 13-1, I think I read. How important is this, 5-game stretch coming up for the Wild beginning tonight?
I mean, every game right now, they dug such a hole in October, as you guys had mentioned, that record just abysmal. And lucky for them, some other teams that had started out hot are starting to fall out of favor, and Minnesota's getting the points that they need. But yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle, frankly, the rest of the year. Colorado's still Colorado. Last year, they felt a little off, but that's going to be a heck of a game in St. Paul the day after Thanksgiving. One of my favorite games every year. Usually it's against the Jets. This year it's against the Avs. I'm all for it. It's an afternoon game. Come out, get rowdy, have a good time, because they're certainly going to need your support behind them. But yeah, Chicago, they're looking good. Connor Bedard doing his thing, making Chicago Blackhawks resurge into the conversation. The Winnipeg Jets, we all know what they're about. And I forget, who are they playing? The first road trip.
The Penguins. Yes.
The Penguins. That's right.
Yes.
Thank you. See, once they leave my vision of Minnesota, I don't care. They're fine. They're away. And yeah, Pittsburgh. I mean, Sid the Kid, right? There's enough said there. They need every point they can get, though, really, at this point, especially when you get into those Western Conference opponents like Chicago, Winnipeg, and Colorado. There's no room for error anymore.
Mm-hmm. What are the lines looking like tonight, Jesse?
People love the lines. The lines, if you look on paper, don't look great. I'll be honest. They don't look awesome. You're without Marco Rossi, Ryan Hartman, Vladimir Tarasenko, Zach Bogosian still hurt, Nico Sturm still hurt, but it sounds like those guys are mounting a comeback. Ryan Hartman recently moved to injured reserve, so he's going to be out for a little bit longer. Marco Rossi already on IR. So it's not ideal, but you've got Kirill, Danila Yurov, and Matt Zuccarello in the top line. And that's going to be exciting to see. Yurov is a young guy. I'm just hoping he can keep up. Your second line stays intact with Jules Eriksson and Matt Boldy and Marcus Johansson. We've seen what they can do. Then you've got Marcus Foligno, Yakov Trenin moving to center, which he hasn't done in a number of years, and Vinny Hinostroza over on the right. And then at the bottom line, you've got Ogren and I forget who, Ben Jones and somebody else. I don't know. Fourth line. It's fine. But it's not. On paper, you look at that lineup and you're like, oh, that's a dub for the opposition. But if you can get a couple guys really shutting them down, I think they'll be okay.
The fact that you can even rattle off those names, and those names are not easy names to rattle
Honestly,
off. Yeah.
You could have just said anything. Props to you for being honest. That was like your moment. Remember that old commercial when he's like, it's out on me, coach. It's out on me. Right. That was your version of that, because you could have just said anything, and I'd have been like, yup. Because we just trust your wild information, Jesse. You're the best.
Now it's gonna drive me nuts. Who is the? Oh my goodness, guys! I don't even. Somebody.
We're talking the Nutcracker later today. She could have said Tchaikovsky. I was like, oh, yeah, I guess he's playing hockey too. You know?
The sugar plum fairy.
Yeah, sugar plum player. Yeah,
that's
of course.
The guy, guys. That's the guy. Tyler. He's a Minnesota guy. So there we go.
Oh.
There it is.
Yeah.
Jesse, where can people learn more about you and watch the Bar Down Beauties podcast?
Bar Down Beauties, new episodes every Tuesday, YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. You can follow me where I do correctly put the lines out with all the names intact at Jesse, JESSI_Pierce, PIERCE. And whenever I join you fine folks, I appreciate it.
Yes.
Thanks, Jesse. You're the best.
Thanks, boys. Have a good one.
Jesse Pierce.
The best. Late night for Jesse, but not super late for us. We're out of here in about 7 minutes, Adam.
Yes. But first, we're going to take a commercial. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to go to commercial
Let's
first.
Pay the bills. Keep these lights on. Sometimes they be shutting off in the middle of segments. That's because we're not taking enough commercial breaks.
That's right.
So let's pay the bills. More afternoon shift right after this.
Back. It's been a jam-packed day here on the afternoon show.
It has. I don't think we can say it better than Manzoni to Zambonis. You coined that one earlier in the show, and it was spot on.
That was good. From childcare centers to Chicago. That toddling town.
From Brian to Bears.
Even though
it was the same segment.
That's
right.
I'm
still counting it for the alliteration.
That's right. From
wild hockey to wild turkeys.
Yes. From wild hockey to wild turkeys. I'm trying to think here.
We got okay. Hold on. We have the Nutcracker. Did we have a Nutcracker reference?
We did. No, not yet. We went
from ballet to Bernardoni.
Yes, from ballet to Bernardoni. From ballet to even our turkey farmer mentioned some of the pardoned turkey this year by the president is from North Carolina.
That is true.
That's the Carolina Hurricanes. So this is the battle of the turkeys tonight.
There
the Wild and the Hurricanes.
The battle of the two leading turkey producers and two of the best teams in the NHL, as Jesse Pierce just so enlightened us.
Yes,
can't wait to watch that one. It's going to be a late tip.
Yes,
but I don't think there's any late tips when the frost start their season.
Yes.
And I believe some of those games are going to be right here on Fox 9.
Yep, they sure are. I think they start on Friday, I think Jesse said.
Jesse was saying they start on Friday. They'll look to three-peat. The Chiefs couldn't do it, but the Minnesota Frost, I believe they can.
Yes. From grace to Gophers.
From grace to Gophers.
To
How
Gophers.
about that?
Yes,
How about that?
Yes, and we have a great show tomorrow coming up, too.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have no idea what's planned tomorrow, but I'm sure we'll figure. You got any idea?
I have a couple ideas.
Ah.
So Saturday is the 62nd anniversary of the Kennedy assassination.
That's right.
So we have the city of Dallas's city archivist.
Wow.
Where the president was shot. We're going right to the source. No reporters, no professors. This is
the
right
city
to the
of Dallas
source.
Archivist. I mean,
Yes.
if that's not reason enough to tune in tomorrow, then I don't know what is. You got 22 freaking hours. Do with it what you will. Just meet us back here, same time, same place. Grace is laughing because everybody's been watching me do the math wrong for weeks now. I can't trust y'all, but I can trust you, the lovely
funny.
viewer out there. I can trust you to be back here tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm Max Fuller.
I'm Adam.
The 5 o'clock news starts now.